further tenancy laws in terms for impacted tenants. So we've got further changes for residential tenants facing financial hardship due to the virus. From the 14th of May, this has come in. Tenants who are unable to negotiate a rent reduction with their landlord. Okay, so this is where the landlord has not responded to your request from you as an agent for reduced rent, or has not responded to the tenant if the tenant's going directly to them, or refuses to negotiate either with you or even going through the fair trading dispute resolution services, or where a tenant and a landlord are unable to agree. So there's been negotiations, but they're unable to agree to what reduced rent will be paid, or how that works, or whether the landlord might be in extreme financial hardship as well. So, there's at that point, tenants who are unable to negotiate that rent reduction can seek to terminate their lease through NCAT. Okay, if a termination order is made under the relevant requirements, compensation, or the break lease fee as we refer to it, may be payable to the landlord, but not more than 2 weeks. That's the big change. Even if it's 4 weeks that are applicable because of where in the lease they are breaking the tenancy, or depending on what the break lease fee written into the lease, it will be not more than 2 weeks. Okay, so if you have a tenant going through that pathway, then they'll obviously need to complete their tenancy application form and requesting an urgent application, and obviously impacting that on financial hardship. You would, from an agent's perspective, if this tenant is doing this, you will need to have your journals up to date. You will need to make sure how far in arrears they are. What is the issue here in terms of, are you claiming the bond? So if this is going to tribunal, all of this comes into play. Who knows how that's going to pan out, because this is new. Okay, but you as an agent need to be so prepared with all of your documentation. So what are the arrears? Have you issued arrears notices? Where does the landlord stand on this? And remember, whether they've got landlord insurance or whether they haven't, or which company they have their landlord insurance with may well make a difference on the documentation that you have provided both to the tenant and to the landlord, will all have an impact on that. So, guys, remember that, you're sitting in the middle of all of this, and it's about the documentation that you can provide that's obviously going to support your landlord, because they are your client. So that's all new. You want to read some more about that, get onto the Fair Trading website. As I keep reminding everybody, in terms of all of this COVID information, it's a great source of information. It's all there. The relevant legislation is attached to it. The what you need to do is attached in there. Often it's obviously directed at the tenant or at the landlord. But when it's directed at the tenant or the landlord, it's actually telling you as an agent what you need to do around that situation. Because if it's saying the landlord needs to do this, well, that's you. The tenant needs to do this, well, that's the tenant. Okay, so get in there, have a look at it. It's now actual legislation. It's, obviously this is all temporary legislation, because it's all about for the duration of COVID-19. And, whilst they're saying that, the definition of that is the period that people are on JobKeeper allowances out there, we don't know. Everything's changing so quickly and so frequently, we don't know. So it's, again, down to, and, I talk about it all the time, it's about your documentation that's keeping you in line there.